Jay, you mentioned no starting jobs are up for grabs.
Yeah, you're going to say the Cade York, the kicking job is up for grabs.
I do beg to differ. You don't think so?
It's not up for grabs.
No.
Did you listen to the post-game news conference? Now, yes, coaches have been known to lie, but, I mean.
They're not going to give up.
They're not.
What sucks about the kicking situation, and this is just a problem, and this is.
Stefanski was dead out. No, we're not bringing anybody in.
I hear you, and I don't think they should
I don't
or will.
I don't think they should either.
But
I think y'all are dead
it's
wrong,
a tricky spot because
you're the king of knee-jerk right now, Duke and knee-jerk.
The problem with kicker guys,
Bo, you go.
If you have a young player at another position who's not ready to do it yet, you can keep him on the bench.
You can.
You can't do that at kicker.
No.
And it's so important. And right now, it's hard to have much faith in Cade York.
It is. No, I'll give you that.
I don't want to see the tweet. I don't want to see a single effing tweet from any of the Browns beat reporters telling me about Cade York's 70-yard field goals in practice. I'm sick of hearing that shit. It doesn't matter. I only care about what he does in the games. And he was inconsistent as a rookie. And I pretty much ignore all preseason except for the kicker. Because the kicker, it's no different. In fact, it should be easier because you know if you miss, okay, he's got no pressure. Nobody's competing against him. And it's not like if you lose the preseason game because you miss a kick, who gives a shit? It's preseason.
Yeah.
But
look at his percentage, anything over 30 yards. 30 yards and above. Look at that percentage.
That's terrible.
That percentage has to be like 60.
Every kicker under 30 has a good.
The big one to me is the 50-plus because he's been marketed as a guy with a big leg.
That's why you drafted him.
Steve Cox, older Browns fans will remember a guy named Steve Cox. He was a punter, but he was also our long field goal guy. Mm-hmm. And he could kick the ball. He could make field goals from 65 yards, which back then was the extreme. He probably had the biggest leg of anybody in the NFL, even though he wasn't a regular kicker. But I don't care if you can kick 65-yard field goals. You've got to make 65-yard field goals. I don't care. We could sign 10 guys right now from Major League Soccer that could come in here and kick the football off a hold over 70 yards.
Yeah.
That's not what separates – that's not what makes kickers in the NFL. You've got to be accurate. And at this point in his career, he has been subpar.
That's right.
Well below average. Now, all of that being said, you're not going to give up on him. You're just not. You're also not going to bring in a Mason Crosby. I know there are two I think Gould
Robbie
and Crosby.
Gould's probably the best.
I think he is too.
Yeah.
Last year, he didn't miss.
Yeah.
He was one of the best kickers in the league last year. He's 40.
Right.
What you're trying to do at this position is find, not a fix or a Band-Aid. That's what anybody that they're going to bring into camp is going to be.
Right.
You're trying to find the next Justin Tucker. You're trying to find the guy that you're going to put out there and never worry about.
And here's the thing. In addition to Tucker, right, the Bengals kicker Evan McPherson, the Steelers kicker Chris Boswell.
It's a great division.
Might be the second and third best kickers in the league.
And you know what? It has to be because of the conditions.
That's right. And those teams, when their kicker goes out there, they're 100% confident. Doesn't mean they're always going to make it, but they're 100. Right now, as a Browns fan, you have no confidence in
you know what? I would say right now, when they bring them out, you're like, you're going, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Here we go.
It's must-see TV.
Yeah, because you're on the edge of your seat. Now, again, small sample size. He's 0 for 2 in his kicks. He's missed. One was 45, one was over 50, I think. But you got to make them.
AJ, I'm with you.
No, clip
But
this.
if we get to the middle point of the season and he's cost them games, they're going to have to make a change. You may not want to, and you may regret it long term.
Here's why they won't do it and haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
Last year, he wasn't the reason that they didn't make the playoffs. But if you're 6-4 and you've played really well on offense and Deshaun Watson's hitting on all cylinders, your defense is great, and you've lost 2 kicks with 2 games because you missed at the end, if you're the reason your team is 6-4 and not 8-2, you're on the unemployment line.
You're out.
Line.
You want him out now?
I tell people like this all the time. I'm going to give an example. Now, look, we'll give you a little black history. You say, G. Bush, what the hell does this have to do with kickers? Even Harriet Tubman, when she was freeing people in the South, she would go back and make multiple trips, hundreds of trips, freeing people. She would tell them, listen, I got a bunch of people with me, but if you think that you're gonna come along on a ride and then you get us caught because you want to go back and turn back and look back because you're scared, I'll shoot you myself because I'm not going to jeopardize everybody in the camp for one person, and that's the way you got to look at kickers. I will refuse.
You got to shoot him.
Now we ain't gonna shoot him.
It's like racehorses that fall on the backstretch.
But I will go get me somebody in a heartbeat. Because here's the thing. I'm telling you right now, this guy's going to cost you a game. And it ain't even going to be the field goal route. It's going to be the most disrespectful, painful route.
Extra point.
The Browns have tied the game, and they need an extra point to win in dramatic fashion. Oh, my gosh, he did it again. Cade York has to be sick, and the Browns lose. If Jimmy Donovan comes up and hits us with that, we are going to be sick.
Yeah. His leash is getting shorter by the miss.
No.
Shorter by the miss.
Who would have guessed that after he made that kick against Carolina in Week 1 last year? You would never have guessed that a year later we'd be talking about will he get cut?
Now, I'm not asking that question because I'm here to tell you he's not getting cut. Kevin Stefanski was asked point blank about it. Are you concerned? Not at all. And he went on to say, look, he's doing what young kickers do. He's trying to get better at his craft. We feel very comfortable with him. Are you going to bring somebody in for competition? No. Now, one of the arguments why you wouldn't do that is because you don't want to damage his psyche. For me, that's the reason to do that.
Yeah, sure.
I want my kicker under constant pressure.
He needs to feel pressure.
At the end of every game, he should have a sit-down with Kevin Stefanski where Kevin tells him, you're good for another 6 days.
That's it.
I want my kicker living under pressure.
That's right.
And I don't like that there's not another kicker in camp.
Yeah, I don't know why they did
but
that.
But Kevin was asked point blank, are you going to bring someone in? And he was unequivocally no.
That's going to be a very hard sell to the rest of those people in that locker room.
That's right.
Because they're going to say, we have a championship caliber team, and we lost the game today because somebody did not do his job.
The only guy in camp without competition.
Right.
There it is.
And the rest of them are playing real football, and this guy is, if he's missing, costing them games.
I would be for them bringing in a kicker.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'd bring in – I think Crosby and Gold, they're going to kick. There's no doubt about it. They're going to kick for good teams. They just don't want to go through camp. They're sitting back. They're they're just they're going to end up on rosters. And I don't think it will be Cleveland. The problem with what happens once you get to Week 8, there's 32 jobs on the planet. When Cade York loses his, now your drawing pool is guys that weren't in the top 32.
If he doesn't kick well, he's not making it to Week 8.
So
I don't think.
Let me throw this scenario out.
It depends on what's going on with this.
You threw the Tucker scenario out really quickly. If you knew that this year Cade York would cost you 2 games and the ability to get to the playoffs, but if you kept him 4 years from now, he would be Justin Tucker, would you do it?
Keep him.
So you would say, I'm going to take now knowing that we could have made the playoffs, and I'm going to keep him.
When we cut, was it Carlson that we cut? Drafted, cut, Minnesota signed him. He's Pro Bowl kicker.
No, it's
Carson was cut by the Vikings. Now he's with the Raiders.
Cut
That was
Cyber.
Okay.
I should know it because
well, we've got 3 kickers, 3 former Browns kickers.
Zane Gonzalez.
Gonzalez.
No, but the guy in Minnesota, I should know it because he's Jewish and he's only one of like 10 Jewish players in the NFL.
Is Greg Daniels? Greg Joseph.
Greg Joseph.
That's him.
And he was really good last year.
And we let him go.
Right.
We let him go.
Wait. Can I say one thing on the kicking competition?
Yeah.
And this, I don't even know where I lie on this. I would like them to bring in someone.
I'm with you on that.
I get Stefanski trying to embolden Cade York as much as possible. Give him as much confidence because kicking, it's like baseball. If you hit the yips, it's hard to get it back. And right now, Cade York has the yips. Yep. The fact that they won't bring in a second kicker, at least haven't yet, shows you that they're scared that if there's a competitive state here, and maybe I'm looking too much into it, that'll rattle Cade York's confidence even more.
No. If you're of that mindset, cut him.
Well,
absolutely.
that's kind of.
I don't think that's.
I don't think that's where they are.
Towards that side, I'm not sure.
I think there's no competition because he's their guy, and that's it.
I agree with that.
And
I think Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski have talked about this. They're convinced. Now, look, they have a lot of data points that we do not have, and that's practice.
Very true.
And by the way,
I'm told in practice, he's splitting the uprights one after another after another.
Who cares about that?
I'll tell you why that is important. If he can't do it like that, he'll never do it like that in games.
Fair. But
so you need, and you said you don't care if he can kick it 70 yards. That is a commodity. That's a tool. that other NFL teams
But it's
don't have.
useless if he can't
It's
make it.
useless if he can't make it.
Yeah.
So what they're doing is, like all players, if defensive ends at 22 were judged on what they are at 22, we might never have seen some of the all-time great defensive ends in the game.
Bottom line,
they've got to marinate. They've got to. You've got to go through a maturation process, and that's what he's doing.
And bottom line on the kicker, you don't need to have a competition necessarily. They wouldn't. It's not like they need to be in training camp.
Right? Yeah, you're right.
Robbie Gould could come in here and kick tomorrow.
I mean,
this Rodrigo Blankenship, he was drafted too. He was really good in college. Like any of these guys could come in tomorrow and just be the kicker.
They could.
If he was say for instance the Browns get to the Super Bowl, right? Cade York is been hit or miss all year. He's only hitting. He's making about.
They're not getting to the Super Bowl if Cade York's not playing.
He's making 70. He's making 72% of his kicks, right?
It could happen, but it's probably not going to.
Would you get a veteran kicker?
No, for one game.
Heck yeah.
No.
Just so if I'm sitting there and it's a tie ball game and Cade York is, I'll trot the veteran out there. I swear I would. I would be like, no, he has a sample size. I would keep 2 kickers. I'm not lying. I would have, if it was between Cade York and Robbie Gould or one of those other guys,
Ryan
Zerline
Suckup, Mason Crosby, Rodrigo Blankenship.
Any of the Cundiffs, give me one of the
Zerline's
Cundiffs.
got a job. Zerline's Giants kicker, isn't he?
Yes,
Jets?
and Zerline. No, he's the Jets.
Graham Gano's the Giants kicker.
Well, no, Zerline's for the Jets, and he hit
right.
like 2 50-plus yarders against the Browns.
So
It looks like he's ready to go right now.
I'd take me a veteran into the game, and I would let him know.
Let's worry about that if we have to.
Yeah, but you can play that. You say, okay, well, what if I got? You could do it at quarterback. Tom Brady. Tom Brady's on the sideline. You can sign him for one game.
Did you guys hear the report
Are
about?
you going with Deshaun Watson
Jay,
or are you
did
going?
you hear the report about
I
Phillip
can't
Rivers
hear
this
you, Mike,
weekend?
but
What is he throwing?
No. But they said if the 49ers had beat the Eagles,
Phillip Rivers would have
they were
played.
going to call Phillip Rivers. He would have started for them in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That would have been the most.
Because they didn't have a
crazy.
quarterback.
Can't turn your eyes away from it ever. They should have signed him before the Eagles.
I would have done that too.
Well, they got 2
twist it.
quarterbacks. Who would think you gave 2 quarterbacks?
No,
hurt
I
in that
know.
game? They should have gone after Drew Brees. Forget Phillip Rivers. I would have taken Drew Brees.